So I'm making and releasing this video just before I go see the Iron Lung movie, because while I would love the opportunity to yap about the movie adaptation as well in this, and while it does theatrically release today, I don't know how soon I'll be able to watch it. But in all honesty, I'm not too worried about that, because I know what Markiplier has made will be amazing. Now, if you don't know what Iron Lung is, or why it's getting a movie, or crazier, you don't know who Markiplier is, let's start with the first one. Iron Lung is one of the many short horror games by David Szymanski, released on March 10th, 2022, Mario Day of all days. Other games he's made include Pony Factory, which is not in any way as nice as it may sound. Squirrel Stapler is another, which is as horrific and weird as it may sound. He's made fast-paced first-person shooters like Dusk and Gloomwood, and a ton of other self-published games. He's also related to brothers John and Evan Szymanski, who have brought us some really cool games as well. I don't know how this family is so talented at making games. And even though Iron Lung seems like just one of many in the Szymanski collection, it is one that is really intriguing in both horror and world building, despite only taking about an hour to complete. Not only are you dropped right into this world not knowing much, the game already plays on multiple different fears within the player. If you have thalassophobia, fear of large bodies of water such as the ocean, well, in this, you're stuck at the bottom of one. If you have claustrophobia, fear of confined and tight spaces, well, you're stuck helplessly inside an unbearably small submarine. And if you have hemophobia, fear of blood, well, I've got some bad news for you. Really bad news, actually, considering you're in an ocean's worth of it. The movie isn't going to sugarcoat that either, as it has broken the record for most blood used in such a production, beating the 2013 film Evil Dead, which is part of an already bloody franchise, including a scene where it is literally raining blood. However, in Iron Lung, this blood isn't a product of some crazed slasher, but rather this strange ecological phenomenon that is found as a result of this otherworldly event known as the Quiet Rapture. In the beginning of the game, you're given this little Star Wars exposition wall of text to explain your situation. In the first paragraph, it's explained how one day, decades ago, every star you know and every inhabitable planet just up and disappeared, vanished without a trace, leaving only those in starships and space stations alive. This incident was then dubbed the Quiet Rapture. While this premise is simple enough to fit in basically one sentence, this is peak cosmic horror. We as humans have spent multiple lifetimes and will continue to spend multiple lifetimes in this pursuit to understand the universe we found ourselves in, the laws of nature around us, and the why of it all. So overturning all logic and understanding by the inexplicable disappearance of a majority of our solar system works surprisingly well. Even if you don't find dread floating aimlessly in an empty void, well, don't worry, because the previously mentioned blood oceans is actually mostly what this game is about. See, despite the sudden disappearance of these celestial bodies, there are some moons that have stuck around. One such moon catches the interest of those still alive, known as AT-TAC-5, and it is one that holds the strange anomaly of a blood ocean. While it may seem weird to explore such a moon, not only does it contain many resources in the form of the blood itself, but also may contain answers to the Quiet Rapture. And with not much to lose and everything to gain, this might be humanity's chance at survival, which is where you come in. That might sound noble at first, but trust me, it gets a lot worse. Instead of you being sent down in this well-equipped machine designed with saving the human species in mind, you get the short end of the stick and are sent down in a rusty cylinder of a submarine known as the SM-13, or the Iron Lung. Like an actual iron lung made in the 1920s, its purpose is to keep you alive and breathing while not offering much else. You're not even granted the luxury of your front window, as you're haphazardly welded in just so the iron lung can even survive the depth in the first place. Your only way to navigate is a map with a built-in coordinate system, proximity sensors, and a camera that can take pictures of what's right in front of it. For something that's supposed to be humanity's last hope, it seems like there's a ton of oversights in sending this bucket of bolts down here. And that's because if the stick couldn't get any shorter, you are technically not humanity's last hope. More like humanity's guinea pig. Through the subtle bits of lore you have access to with this terminal that allows you to put in all kinds of different queries to understand the world, or rather lack thereof, and this note that was left by the previous operator of the Iron Lung, you learn that you are an expendable convict who's most likely participated in this battle between two surviving groups. Apparently, the disappearance of just about everything we know still won't stop society from killing each other. But it was a battle between Eden, a space civilization that inhabited what was once Mars, whose populace are very patriotic Martians yearning for independence, and the consolidation of Iron, a democratic space brotherhood that focuses on unity through collectivism. but these two groups had rising tensions which erupted during a conflict at Filament Station, resulting in a lot of destruction and a lot of prisoners taken captive by the consolidation of iron. You are now one of those prisoners now being utilized by the COI for conviction realization, basically their form of the justice system, and a very unethical one at that. To where if you can complete the mission they've given you, meaning getting into this death trap of an underwater vessel at the bottom of a blood ocean trench and using your camera to photograph specific landmarks the COI have interest in, then you can earn your freedom. It is an impossibly helpless endeavor. And yet, just like what remains of humanity, you keep trying to live nonetheless. That in the face of a dying universe, you still blindly chase these numbers hoping that it'll bring you freedom. Because somewhere in the void, there must be hope. You can probably see why this is getting a movie adaptation. The idea is too cool not to expand upon. Plus, its story might honestly be better presented in a movie. While I enjoyed the gameplay of Iron Lung due to the unique challenge it offered, I can see why it's not always a fun challenge. This is a lot of the gameplay. It's to the point that if you're someone who is overhyped on Iron Lung with how scary it was, and you get into the game with that mindset of, alright, time for me to get spooked, then you're probably going to be disappointed, especially in the end when the only real jump scare is a PNG of a fish slowly coming at you. So without context, yeah, it isn't all that terrifying. However, if you allow yourself to get immersed in the world of Iron Lung and engross yourself in its mysteries and put yourself into this helpless situation, then it's a lot more effective. I think the medium of film helps better facilitate this feeling I'm trying to describe. Without a doubt, video games are the best when it comes to immersing you in a world, as playing as the main character gives you front row seats to everything. But theaters, other than giving you actual front row seats, can help enable specific emotions for impact. Like nothing's going to beat piloting the Iron Lung yourself, but the movie can emphasize the more important or thrilling moments. I mean, with the movie having a runtime of 2 hours, I don't think it's going to be 120 straight minutes of watching someone trying to park a submarine at the right angle to get a good photo. But instead, with the source material only being half that length, that extra hour can do a lot. Certain scenes can be brought more attention, or new moments unique to the movie can be added, giving those who have played the game more reason to go see it, and so many parts of the lore can be fleshed out. The lore I was talking about, with the consolidation of Iron, Eden, Filament Station, was all read off of a little in-game computer screen. Now being able to put a visual to all these factions and events is going to be really cool if it goes that route. Even if it doesn't, and it is just an extended version of the game now put to the silver screen, I wouldn't mind that either. For one, video game adaptations never bothered me because film is arguably much more digestible for a majority of audiences and allows people who aren't gamers or chronically online to not miss out on a good story. And for two, Markiplier is the one making it, which is enough for me. When I first got really introduced to YouTube as a platform and different content creators in general, I grew up in the era where the biggest people I knew and watched were PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, and Markiplier. There were YouTube legends that came before them that I never got to experience growing up, and legends now that I don't really want to experience, but to me, this was the golden era. Out of the three of them, Mark started his YouTube journey around March of 2012 and would most notably upload horror game videos like Amnesia.
I'm the man with the plan. What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh my god! Ah!
Along with some other really weird videos. Trust me, this was the pinnacle of internet humor. But he was a lovable and charming goofball who built his audience around Let's Plays, with games like Five Nights at Freddy's being one of his most popular playthroughs. He's not just a gamer though, he does all kinds of things, from podcasts with friends to activities that totally wouldn't label him a masochist. Most relevantly, however, he's also a storyteller, which can be seen with all the kinds of projects he's worked on. This includes his YouTube original Choose Your Own Adventure series, A Date with Markiplier, A Heist with Markiplier, and In Space with Markiplier. And while they're seemingly silly stories, they're ones full of creativity that are crafted with so much of Mark's love and passions. He's also broken out of the YouTube space and onto streaming services with the mini TV show Edge of Sleep, which while I don't think he wrote the story of, he definitely played a big role as the main lead and pushing the show out to his audience. But these are staples in Mark's filmography and have kind of acted as stepping stones for what he's doing now, writing and directing and starring in his own movie, which is already seeing so much success before it even comes out. Originally, when the announcement was first made and the website came out with all the screenings of Iron Lung, I was afraid there wouldn't be a theater close enough to practically go see it. Now, I'm worried I won't have a seat when I get there. And recently, there's even popcorn buckets for the movie, which you can 3D print for Regal theaters. They're also very reminiscent of the Doom popcorn bucket from a couple years ago, but without the glaring issue of, well,
people are going to this.
But seeing a YouTuber created movie elevated to such a level is an amazing sign for other content creators. Notoriously, movies made by YouTubers kinda suck. So when they do end up being good, like another indie horror film such as Talk to Me by YouTube channel Raka Raka, it's kind of a big deal. With how much Mark has poured himself into Iron Lung and the response it's gotten, I imagine this is a pretty big deal too. And it's an absolutely well-deserved one, both with the amount of effort put into this movie and everything leading up to it. I cannot wait to see it in theaters.
And as always, I'll see you in the next video. In the next movie. I mean, hopefully there's a video in between this and the movie. Anyway, bye-bye.